Broke men in Germany, this video is for you. The thing about being broke is that you do not really need anybody to prove it to you. You can pretty much tell by yourself that you are broke. It doesn't matter if you have a job or you do not have a job. If you are broke, you can pretty much tell, because you see things that you want to buy, you're not able to buy it because you do not have the money, to spend for such things. At the end of the month, you cannot seem to just, have some basic fun, take your family out to some dinner, some restaurant, have a good time. These are signs that you are pretty much broke. The most annoying thing is that it's even possible you have a job. You are working 8 hours every day, and you know how it goes. If you have to work an 8-hour shift, you definitely have to leave your home. Perhaps, you need to wake up in the morning, you need to get dressed, go to the destination of your work, and start the work for 8 hours and come back, repeat the same commute. At the end of the day, you are pretty much spending like 10 hours to go to that job. And when you get paid, you spend some part of this money for your house rent, you spend some for food, you pay your bills, your internet costs, your electricity bills and all that. At the end of the day, what's left is just barely, 100 euros for you to save. And if you are not careful, that 100 euros still has a way of just leaving your hands. These are signs of being broke. I'm talking about it because I have been there before. I've lived in Germany for 14 years, and I can pretty much relate to when someone is broke. And this video, I feel like, is something I have to make, to just make you guys wake up. If you are a man right now, you are in Germany, doesn't matter your nationality, doesn't matter where you are from, as long as you are tired of being broke, this video, is definitely for you. And the thing that gets me kind of worked up is that a lot of the broke men you have around here, you have a lot of time on your hands. You go to work, you come back, and the next thing you want to do is to sit down, just chill on the couch, keep scrolling TikTok, scrolling YouTube shorts, just, watching all manner of videos, wasting your time. And you keep telling yourself, I'm broke, I need money, I don't have money to be able to, take the kind of holiday I would have loved to take. My wife's birthday is coming up. I'm not able to, buy her a very nice gift, a gift that, I will give to her. She will see me as, her husband. She will be happy with me. You are not able to do that. But the only thing you want to do is to sit down, relax, chill up, and keep scrolling on your phone without end, watching videos that are well crafted to just make you forget about your pains. And at the end of those videos, you still come back to your reality. This video is meant to wake you up from your sleep. Guys, I've been there before, right? When I came to Germany, I also thought that it was a bed of roses. I felt like if you have a job, sooner or later you're going to be balling, you're going to be making a lot of money, you're going to be sending money home, you're going to be having money to travel over Europe and all that. Guys, it didn't take me so long to realize that if you have a job, whatever you're going to be paid is definitely not going to be enough. If you have a job, I'm talking about, this kind of normal jobs that immigrants tend to come here and take up. I'm talking about the IT jobs, the engineering jobs, the medical. If you are in the medical field, I'm talking about those kind of jobs. You kind of know the jobs I'm referring to. You have a job, you work in a warehouse, you work all manner of night shift jobs, security job, you work in the hospital here, the old people's home and all those kind of jobs. Guys, you quickly realize that whatever you're going to be paid, it's not going to be enough for you to live that dream life that you've always wanted to live. People are in Africa. I'm talking about Africa because I am an African. People are expecting that you are in Europe. Sooner or later, you're going to be sending money home. You're going to come home and better the condition of your family. But that's not happening because the job you have, first of all, is taking a lot of your energy, taking your time. At the end of the day, the annoying thing is that the job is still not enough for you to live the kind of life that you would love to live. Man, this video is supposed to help you to wake up. So what you have to do if you are a broke man in Germany right now is to start a business, right? There are so many things that you can pretty much do with the free time you have right now. The free time you're using to scroll on TikTok, to scroll on YouTube, to scroll on Instagram, and watch a lot of, drama going on the internet right now. You can put that time to starting a business. I'm not going to tell you here that it's going to be an easy road. But then if you tell yourself, I'm tired of being broke, the best thing you want to do for yourself now is to start a business. There are so many things you can do. There are so many flow marks that happens here in Germany. We are pretty much lucky here in Germany because the culture of the flow mark is something that the German system kind of embraces. There's literally no village, no city that doesn't have a flow market, on Saturday. Sometimes it could be on Friday, it could be on Sunday. But this culture of, bringing you stuff to a particular place and, selling them to somebody else that comes around is a known culture here. And on these markets, there are so many things that one can pretty much lay his hands on. A few days ago, I was at the flow market, in a little town called Schweitenkirchen. And on this floor mark, I was able to see a lot of things, household items, electronics, shoes, clothing, kitchen utensils, books, all manner of stuff being sold for cheap. I was telling myself, man, I wish a broke man would finally wake up and say, you know what, I'm going to this floor mark to pick up some items, bring them home, clean them up, ensure they are in very good working condition, and go ahead to sell them on a platform like eBay. That would be a game changer. But a lot of the broke men we have around here, they are not thinking in this direction. I felt like I need to remind you of these things. If you are broke, starting a business, one of the best things you can actually do for yourself. You're not going to be counting millions, today. You're not going to be counting millions in the next 1 or 2 weeks. But you are going to be setting yourself, on a new course of development. You're going to be thinking differently. The more you get yourself deeper into this business thing, the more your brain is going to be open. You're going to be seeing new opportunities. Things are going to definitely just be better for you. The time you are spending now to sit down and just scroll endlessly on your phone, you are going to be channeling that into discovering new things, discovering items you can buy and sell, discovering places that you can go to actually buy things, and resell them online. And this whole process, this whole, new kind of life, this whole schedule that you're going to be putting yourself into is going to lead you to something huge, because it's the same thing that happened to me. Long time ago, I was also scrolling endlessly on my phone. I didn't know what I didn't know. I was just thinking that, okay, having a job is just enough. But then I knew that the job I had at the time wasn't able to guarantee me the kind of life I would have loved to live. But gradually, I started seeing that there was a trend in Germany where people just take their free stuff, put it on a platform. At the time, it was called eBay Kleinanzeigen. On this website, you could pretty much, go there and get free stuffs. And one thing I told myself, that if these things are free, I can actually go ahead and pick them up, and resell them. This was how I came into this journey, of reselling. Then I will go out, pick up different stuffs, sometimes printers, sometimes monitors, computers, laptops, fridges, washing machine. There was literally anything I didn't pick, cameras, furnitures, beddings, mattress, pillow covers, clothing. I picked everything and I ended up selling everything on eBay. There were just a few that didn't sell, things that were pretty much defective, and there was just no way for me to, fix them. The funny thing is that sometimes even when I was able to pick up washing machines that were defective, people still came around and bought those washing machines for me, especially the ones that were very good products. There's this Miele, there's Siemens, there's the Bosch. These products, even when they are defective, there's still somebody out there that still wants to buy these machines, for parts. And I was picking up this stuff, and gradually I was going deeper and deeper and deeper into this rabbit hole of buying and selling things. Guys, it changed my life. It literally changed my life. It changed the life of my family, changed my financial situation, changed the way I see the world. And at the end of the day, it just made me a better person. Fast forward to today, I have a business where I buy and sell used computers on the internet. And if you ask me today, one of the best things that happened to me was that I got up, took action, and started, figuring out a way for me to change my financial situation. And the little buying and selling business that I started many years ago pretty much did that for me. So if you are a broke man today, you are still complaining, the life in Germany is so hard, the money I get from my job is not enough for me, I do not have money, what do I do? It's so boring. I come from work, the only thing I have motivations to do is just to watch Netflix or to scroll on my phone on a couch. Guys, wake up from your sleep. The time you have to do this pretty much is now. There are so many things that you can buy and sell. If you say to yourself, I do not like electronics because I do not have the technical know-how to actually, test them if they are in working conditions. You can consider selling books. You can consider selling clothing. You can consider selling, repair equipment, screwdrivers, stuff like that. Guys, the supply of these things are literally unlimited. If you go to my country, it's very hard to find items that are used and still in good working condition. I'm not talking about you buying stuff here and taking it to Africa, because long time ago, this was the model that we were all used to. We were all used to the fact that it was easy to get cheap stuff in Germany, and because of that, we wanted to buy this stuff and send them to Nigeria. But then after a few months, we pretty much realized that this was not going to be a business that was going to be sustainable. But right here in Germany, people need those books that you can lay your hands on for cheap. People need those clothes that you can lay your hands on for cheap. All right, you go to the Flohmarkt, you can find literally anything there, and you can find electric pressing iron, you can find monitors. There are people somewhere that needs those stuff. There are people with similar situations like you. They cannot even consider buying these items in new conditions. So the only hope they have is to buy these items in used condition. And there are people that are living in this particular location where it's just not possible for them to go to a Flohmarkt. And even if they do go to these Flohmarkts, it's also not possible to just get this particular item that they are looking for. And this is exactly where you come in, because you might be fortunate to be living in a big city like, say, Munich. And in the big cities like Munich, you have an unlimited supply of Flohmarkts. And when you have great amount of Flohmarkts happening every Saturday, every Sundays, you can pretty much lay your hands on a lot of stuff that you can bring back to a platform like eBay at literally no cost to you to open an account, list the items and sell the items and keep the profit for yourself. This is something that you can start to do. Yes, the learning curve might be pretty much long, but if you do not start today, you're not going to be a better person tomorrow. All it takes for you is to start discovering things, start seeing how you can, get your feet wet. And the more you keep doing these things, the more you're just going to learn a lot of things, and you never can tell where it's going to lead you to. And the beautiful thing is that it doesn't matter if you have a full-time job, you are definitely going to be able to find time to be able to go to a Flohmarkt and bring the item. And the fact that you live in a home already presupposes that you have a little corner in your room where you can actually put these things. When I was starting out back then, guys, I literally had stuff all over my house. I had washing machines. I will have a washing machine like this, another one on the top. I had bags. I had clothing bags all around. Under my bed were monitors, were printers, were all manner of stuff that you can think of. I wasn't complaining. I do not have the space, because this is something that somebody's going to pretty much say now, where do I put this stuff? I do not have space to keep these things. I do not have a garage. All these are complaints that are meant to just stop you. But if you can overcome these challenges, if you can overcome these complaints that your mind is trying to give to you, you are going to find out that, look, all these complaints are just nothing compared to, the feeling of being broke. You want to take action today. The next time there's a Flohmarkt around you, go there and don't just keep thinking of buying things that you want to use for yourself. Don't keep thinking of going to the Flohmarkt to look for a particular shoe, a particular jacket for yourself. Go to the Flohmarkt with the mindset of, finding something that somebody else might be interested in. And in the course of doing that, you find something that you think you want to keep for yourself, you can go ahead and keep it. But let your mindset be such that there is somebody somewhere that might need a calculator. The person doesn't have money to buy new. Now I'm in the Flohmarkt. I can actually buy this used calculator, bring it to a platform, like eBay, which is pretty much recognized in Germany. And the person on the other side that needs a calculator has the possibility to see this listing I have set up and buy it. And I'm going to profit from doing that. The moment you begin to think like this, it's going to change the game for you. And it's just going to be a matter of time for you to figure out certain things that will ultimately change your life. I hope this video helps you. It talks to somebody out there, a broke man or a woman in Germany. If it did, I want you to do me a favor. Go on to the comment section, comment on the video, click on the like button, and consider subscribing to the channel. Until I see you again in the next one. Peace.